Creatine. You've seen it at the gym. You've heard fitness influencers talk about it. Maybe you've even tried it yourself. But here's the thing. Most people have no idea what this white powder actually does. And honestly, I don't blame you. Because for years, the information out there has been confusing, contradictory, and sometimes just plain wrong. But here's something that might surprise you. Creatine isn't just for bodybuilders anymore. It's not just about getting bigger muscles or lifting heavier weights. Research published just a few months ago shows this supplement might do things most people never imagined. And I'm not talking about the gym. I'm talking about your brain, your liver, and even how well you age.
Let me put this in perspective. We're talking about a supplement that has been studied on more than 26,000 people. Some studies have followed people taking up to 30 grams per day. That's 6 times the normal dose for 5 years straight. 5 years! That's not a quick experiment. That's serious, long-term research. And just 2 months ago, a major expert review on creatine was published. The group behind it is basically the world's leading authority on sports nutrition. When they release a position stand, it's like the final word on a topic. They reviewed all the evidence, decades of it, and came to a clear conclusion.
Their conclusion? Creatine is one of the most effective and safest nutritional supplements available, period. That's not me saying that. That's the conclusion of a world-class scientific organization. But I know what you might be thinking. If it's so great, why haven't I heard about all this? And that's exactly what we're going to cover today. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what creatine is, how it works, what the research actually says about its benefits and risks, and most importantly, whether you should be taking it. Whether you're an athlete, a weekend warrior, or someone who just wants to stay sharp as you get older, this information matters to you. So let's dive in. But before we get into all the science, let's start with the basics. What actually is creatine? Well, it's a naturally occurring compound that your body produces. You also get it from food, mostly red meat and seafood. A pound of beef or salmon contains about 4 to 5 grams of creatine. So if you're someone who doesn't eat much meat or fish, you might be running lower on creatine than your body would like. That's where supplementation comes in. Your body produces creatine naturally, but you also get it from food, mostly red meat and seafood. A pound of beef or salmon has about 4 to 5 grams. If you don't eat much of these, your levels might be lower than optimal.
About 95% of the creatine in your body is stored in your skeletal muscles. The remaining 5% is found in your brain, heart, and other tissues. Your body naturally breaks down about 1 to 2 grams per day that you need to replace. If you're not getting enough from your diet, your levels can drop. So why does your body care so much about creatine? It's all about energy. Your muscles and brain use something called ATP for fuel. Think of it as your body's energy currency. When you do anything intense, sprinting, lifting, even thinking hard, your ATP stores drain quick. Creatine acts like a backup battery for your muscles. When you have enough creatine stored, your body can quickly turn it into phosphocreatine, which then donates its energy to recharge ATP. Without enough creatine, you run out of juice faster. You fatigue quicker, you can't push as hard, and your recovery takes longer. It's that simple. And because creatine plays such a fundamental role in energy production, researchers have been studying it for decades. Hundreds of studies, thousands of participants, years of data. And the conclusion is clear. Creatine works, it's safe, and it has benefits that go far beyond just building muscle. Let's break down exactly what those benefits are.
So what does creatine actually do for performance? Let's start with the most well-established benefit, high-intensity exercise. If you're doing anything that requires short bursts of maximum effort, creatine is your best friend. The research is incredibly consistent. Creatine supplementation has been shown to improve sprint performance, increase strength, enhance muscle gains, and speed up recovery between workouts. It allows athletes to train harder, recover faster, and get better results from the same amount of effort. In scientific terms, creatine is what's called an ergogenic aid, a substance that enhances performance.
In fact,
experts have concluded that creatine monohydrate is the most effective ergogenic nutritional supplement currently available for improving high-intensity exercise capacity and lean body mass during training. What that means is simple. If you want to get stronger, build muscle, or perform better at high-intensity sports, creatine is the single most effective supplement you can take. And it's not just for young athletes. A meta-analysis of 22 studies looked at adults aged 57 to 70 who supplemented with creatine while doing resistance training. The results showed that creatine increased lean muscle mass by an average of 1.37 kilograms, about 3 pounds, and improved both upper and lower body strength. That's significant, especially for older adults trying to maintain muscle as they age.
A newer meta-analysis, published just this year, focused specifically on postmenopausal women. Researchers looked at over 600 participants and found that 5 grams of creatine daily, combined with resistance training, produced a small but meaningful increase in lean body mass. This is especially important because women lose about 1% of their bone and muscle mass annually after menopause. Creatine won't stop that completely, but it can help slow the loss. Creatine also benefits endurance athletes, especially in sports that involve repeated sprints or burst efforts. A review published earlier this year found that creatine improved repeated sprint performance and high-intensity power output in sports like cycling, swimming, and rowing. So the takeaway on performance is simple. Creatine works. It helps with high-intensity exercise, strength and muscle growth, and recovery. Whether you're sprinting, lifting, doing intervals, or playing a team sport, creatine can give you an edge. But here's where things get really interesting, because creatine's benefits don't stop at the gym. Now here's where things get really interesting. Remember how I said 5% of your creatine is stored in your brain? Researchers have been looking at what happens when you boost those brain creatine levels, and the results are genuinely exciting. We're talking about potential benefits for memory, attention, and even protection against cognitive decline.
A meta-analysis of 16 randomized controlled trials found that creatine supplementation significantly improved memory, attention, and information processing speed. The benefits were especially pronounced in older adults aged 66 to 76. This is important because cognitive decline is one of the biggest concerns as we age. If a simple supplement can help keep our brains sharp, that's a big deal. And here's something that connects perfectly to our last video. Creatine seems to protect cognitive function during sleep deprivation. Research shows that taking creatine offers modest cognitive benefits when you're running on no sleep. It helps keep your brain firing even when your body is tired. For shift workers, new parents, students pulling all-nighters, or anyone who struggles with sleep, this is huge.
Now, I want to be upfront with you. Not all the evidence for creatine and brain health is rock solid. Some reviews have found limited or inconsistent results. For example, the effects on depression and other mood disorders show only small benefits that may not be clinically meaningful. So while the early research is promising, we're not at the point where we can say creatine will definitely make you smarter. But the potential is there, and more research is happening all the time. There's also fascinating new research on creatine and liver health. A review published recently found that creatine may help protect against metabolic dysfunction-associated fatty liver disease, one of the most common liver conditions in the world. This is why researchers are so excited about creatine. It's not just a gym supplement anymore. It's being studied for brain health, liver health, aging, injury recovery, and even conditions like Parkinson's disease. A recent pilot study looked at creatine for Alzheimer's disease. 20 patients took 20 grams per day for 8 weeks, and the results showed improvements in cognition. Now, to be clear, some of these newer applications are still in the early stages, but the fact that creatine is being seriously studied for all these conditions tells you something important. This is a fundamentally important compound for human health. It's not just about muscles anymore. It's about your whole body, your whole life. And the best part? Decades of research show it's remarkably safe.
All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room.
For years, people have been saying creatine damages your kidneys, causes dehydration, makes your hair fall out, and gives you horrible cramps. So what does the research actually say? Let's look at the evidence. We're talking about studies with more than 26,000 people total. And the conclusion? Short-term and long-term supplementation, up to 30 grams per day for up to 5 years, is safe and well-tolerated in healthy individuals. Not probably safe. Safe. Full stop.
And it's not just healthy young athletes. Research has shown creatine is safe across a wide range of populations, from infants to the elderly, from healthy people to those with chronic conditions like type 2 diabetes and heart disease. The evidence is remarkably consistent. When used properly, creatine is safe for almost everyone. So what are the actual side effects? The most consistently reported one is weight gain, about 1 to 2 pounds in the first few days. This is due to water retention because creatine draws water into your muscles. Studies show that after about 5 weeks, total body water returns to normal. And for most people, that initial weight gain is actually a positive sign that the creatine is working.
What about kidney damage? That's the biggest concern. Recent research, including systematic reviews, found no kidney issues in healthy creatine users. If your kidneys are healthy, creatine won't hurt them. If you have pre-existing conditions, talk to your doctor first. What about dehydration, cramps, and hair loss? All debunked. Creatine doesn't cause dehydration or cramps. It may actually help with hydration. And hair loss? That came from one study linking creatine to DHT, but follow-up research found zero evidence. Unless you have a specific genetic predisposition, creatine won't make you go bald.
So if you want to try creatine, how should you take it? Let me break it down simply so you can make the best decision for yourself. There are 2 common approaches. The first is a loading phase, 20 grams per day divided into smaller doses for 5 to 7 days. This saturates your muscles faster, usually within a week. After that, you switch to a maintenance dose of 3 to 5 grams per day.
But here's the thing. You don't actually have to load. Research shows that taking 3 grams per day, every day, will also increase your muscle stores, just more slowly. It might take 2 to 4 weeks to reach full saturation, instead of 1 week. If you're in no rush, the simpler approach works just fine. Quick tips. Drink plenty of water because creatine pulls water into your muscles. Mix the powder with warm water so it dissolves better. When you take it doesn't really matter. Before or after your workout is fine. Some people take it with their protein shake after training. Others take it in the morning. Studies show it doesn't make a big difference.
Here's what you need to remember. 1. Creatine is one of the most studied supplements on the planet. The evidence is solid, and the research shows it's both safe and effective. 2. Creatine is not just a gym supplement. It's being studied for brain health, liver health, aging, and even recovery from injury. The potential goes far beyond muscle. 3. For most healthy people, creatine is safe. Decades of research show minimal side effects. Just stay hydrated and stick to the recommended doses.
That's the research. Now, it's up to you. If this helped, subscribe and hit the bell. Every week, I share science-backed tips on food, supplements, and training. No hype, just evidence.